Imagine being only 21 years old and living in a beautiful tiny home that you built with your very own hands. Today here in the UK, we're about to meet a man who took that dream and turned it into his reality, and all for a budget that you will not believe. Hey Jack, how's it going?
Hey Bryce, lovely to meet you, mate.
It's so good to meet you. And what a cool little house you've built here.
Thank you very much.
Now, this one has actually been built on an old farm trailer, hasn't it?
Yes, that's right. So the trailer was brought at a farm auction for £60, and it was like really rusty and old, and like it had one of the tires like bent over. But we cut off a bunch of the stuff and we welded some new bits on, and yeah, so now we have what we have here.
Brilliant, the foundation to a super cool little house.
Thank you very much.
And what was it that inspired you to build this home?
When I was about like 13, I saw this video online of this guy who'd built a 1 meter square home. You could like tip it over and like it would be the bed, and then you tip it up and it'd be the office. And so I saw that, and then I wanted to build one with my dad. So we built one, and there is part of that house in here in the steps on the inside. So that's what inspired me. And then I went on like a deep rabbit hole when I was like 13, like looking at all these videos online. So it'd be like your videos and like all these other videos as well. And so I took ideas from there and here, and then I designed it when I was like 16. And then I brought the trailer and then got to work, and then, yeah.
And now here you are.
Here I am.
That is so cool. And so you built the tiny house yourself. What was the process of building it like?
Yeah, it was a long process. So it started in, I think, 2020. And so, yeah, all throughout my 3 years of university, I've been doing it when I was home with my dad. And my dad's been a massive help, and he's helped me do. But he's probably done more of this than I've done. But yeah, it's been a fantastic project.
Building memories together while you're building the home as well. It's actually so special to be able to create something like this together with your dad.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just been lovely. And because I've learned so much doing it as well, because it has been very much a DIY process. All like the materials are like salvaged and reclaimed and given to me for free, which was great. So I've not had to spend too much on it, which has been amazing. The most expensive thing has been the fire, and that was like half the budget basically.
Really?
But yeah, so I had to use my savings for that one. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been really great fun.
That's incredible. So how did you go about sourcing all the materials then?
So the hardwood came from Colchester, and it came off of a car park, and it was all this like bitumen paint on it. It took a long time getting that up and looking how it does now, but really well worth it. And the pallet wood, that all comes from my uncle's like pallets that were left over, and then so I took them all apart and then sanded them all down. So that took me a long time, but yeah, I think the effect is good.
And what about the cladding and the doors and windows?
So the cladding was left over from one of my uncle's building sites, and he said, you use it because otherwise it's going to go to waste. You know, it won't be used for something like this, so, you know, use it.
Yeah.
So I did, and yeah, so it's cement fiberboard, so it's like a hardy plank. It's quite tough, so I had to do it with the grinder and things like that. So I was very dusty and quite fed up by the time I'd finished actually doing it, but yeah, it looks good.
It certainly does. And what size is the tiny house?
So the tiny house is 16 feet long by 8 feet wide.
Great size. And can you tell me about the design?
So I wanted to build this to look like the farm buildings that are on the farm, to like match in with everything else. So our main house where my parents live, that's got like black weatherboard on it, and so there's like the barn at the side and the barn at the back as well. So I wanted to keep it in with that, and the main house also has grey windows and doors, so I wanted to keep it in keeping with that, so like, you know, it all feels like one unit.
Yeah, you've done that brilliantly, and I totally agree with you as well. If you can match in the style of all of the buildings, it just makes everything feel like it belongs together, eh?
Yeah, totally.
And can you tell me about the property that we're on as well? Because this place is something really special, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So this is my family's farm, and since the 50s or 40s, we've been keeping it very much in the idea of conservation and around that idea. So my great-grandfather, he spearheaded like conservation at the time, and all the other farmers around the area would like laugh at him and be like, why are you doing this? Why are you keeping it like that? Why are you not growing crops? That kind of thing. So he'd be like digging out ponds and scrapes and things like that to introduce wildlife and keep things like that. He had loads of red geese in his garden. And I always remember going around there as a kid and just seeing all these amazing like animals. Also being a bit terrified because geese are scary and horrible. And now we keep it under the stewardship scheme. So
Wow.
we keep habitat in certain ways that they tell us to keep them in. And we have loads of rare animals. So we have the lesser spotted woodpecker's been spotted here, which is very rare. We get snipe and things like that, and we have a moth at the end, and that's the Essex Fisher estuarine moth, and that's only can grow on like this one plant called hog's fennel, and so we grow that, and it literally only reproduces on this plant, and it's crazy. I don't know how it survives, but yeah, so it's great.
That is so cool. And the property's 100 acres, so it's sizable as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent size. Yeah, it's really great.
And it looks like you've built a really interesting grey water system for this home as well.
Yeah, so I've got a reed bed system, and it feeds from the kitchen and from the bathroom on 2 separate feeds. It comes into a wormery, and then the wormery, the worms will eat anything that's like nasty and horrible. The grease trap in the kitchen gets rid of any fats and things like that, so that doesn't get introduced and clog up the system.
Yep.
We have 2 dustbins as well, and those get fed from the wormery, and those contain duvets, pillows, shingle, bark, things like that, and that filters out all of the nasties in the water. And then those get fed into the other 2 beds as well, and they're all filled with reeds, and so the reeds filter out anything nasty as well. And they use that to grow and thrive. So
Yeah, what a great system.
thank you.
Well done. Well, from here, the place just looks so good, and I cannot wait to see what you've done on the inside. Can we take a look?
Of course we can. Come on in.
Thank you very much. Hey, this place looks so good. Especially all of that pallet wood in here really pops, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. A lot of hard work, but it's paid off.
Absolutely. That is one thing about using salvage materials, is it's so much more labor intensive, but the result is always worth it.
100%. Yeah. It definitely wouldn't have taken me half the time if I'd been using stuff off the shelf, but I'm really glad that I decided to go down this route.
Yeah. And for such a compact home, it feels so spacious in here as well.
Yeah, so I designed it with like quite high ceilings so that we could do the split level kitchen with the bed underneath. And so the high ceilings were like a perk of that. I feel like it makes it feel bigger because those ceilings are high.
Absolutely. And for such a compact home as well, you have squeezed a lot of function into this space.
I've tried to get everything I would ever want in here. So from my guitar and things like that. So yeah, I've tried to get everything in.
And the way that you've done the combined bed and couch down here is brilliant.
Thank you, yeah. So I designed it so that this space could be completely open and the bed could tuck all the way underneath the kitchen, as well as the underbed storage as well. And then you can have it all the way out as a double bed at night time, so yeah.
Amazing. It's just such a spatially efficient way of doing it. And as you say, it just makes the space feel so much more open, and you don't need to enclose any of the space with sleeping lofts or anything like that as well.
Yeah, so I really didn't like the idea of having a sleeping loft. I've slept in like bunk beds and things before, and being close to the ceiling, not for me. So I wanted to have that space, and when we've been sleeping in here, we really appreciate having that like space above us. It really feels big and open and cozy as well.
Yeah.
Because of the wood.
Because of course you're here by yourself right now, but you're soon going to be joined by your girlfriend in this home as well.
Yeah. So she's been staying with me intermittently, but she will be moving in permanently after university, when she's finished university. So.
Fantastic. And what does she think of the space?
She loves it, yeah. I mean, she's helped me pick out the colours and things like that, so she's been a great help throughout the whole process, so yeah.
Great, that's so nice. And a combined entertainment and office area here as well, which is really beautifully done.
Yeah, so that was really important for me, having this area so I could watch TV and things in bed, but also so I could do like my video editing and things like that, so yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice. And of course you are a filmmaker, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. So I've just graduated from university. I've done my Bachelor of Arts in Film and Moving Image Production, and graduated with first class honours, so yeah, I was very happy.
Congratulations,
Thank
that's
you very
really
much.
cool. Yeah, and having this is just such a cool space to be able to create from and build on what you want to do for your career.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be a really great space to work in, I think, and having this view and things like that, it's just going to be lovely, a good tonic.
And behind me as well, we've got the log burner. Obviously here in the UK, it gets pretty chilly in the winter, so that's an important thing to have.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's pretty chilly all year round.
True.
Yeah. So that's been really great, and it will be great in the winter. We lit it last night as well, just to get it going, and yeah, it was lovely and cozy.
That's so nice. And nice shelving all around here as well for books and knickknacks.
Yeah, shelving was super important because I do have a lot of knickknacks and things like that, and like my filming equipment and things like that, especially in such a small space. you need to utilize all the space you can get, really. And these were the sort of only walls that I could sort of do that on without it being in the way or being intrusive.
Yeah, and also just to be able to display some items, show some character in the home as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And the lights in here are so cool.
Yeah, thank you. So they were salvaged from this Mexican restaurant in Colchester when it was getting ripped out. And so my dad saw them and was like, I need those. They'll look great. So we got them, polished them up, and they're brass, and so they look great and they reflect the light lovely.
Yeah, I love those salvage stories. And the way that you have done this kitchen is just so nice.
Thank you very much. So yeah, all hand built by me and my dad, using a lot of reclaimed material again. So the work surface and all the framing is all built from that hardwood that we salvaged from Colchester.
Great.
And so yeah, a lot of work to get it looking how it does, but worth it.
The style is just fantastic. The green tiles offset against the timberwork, and the way that you've done the timberwork on all of the different angles just looks so good as well.
Yeah, thank you. That did take a while.
I bet it did.
But yeah, worth it. And yeah, so a lot of things are reclaimed. So the doors as well, they're from our house when we ripped it out and redid the house there. And yeah, drawer units were all handmade and things like that. So yeah.
I love that too. Being able to pull things out of your childhood home and incorporate them in a new project like this and sort of embedding that family history into the space as well is really special.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of aspects like that in here as well.
The round feature window up there as well, you built that together with your dad, didn't you?
Yeah. So that was mostly my dad. But yeah, so we had a former and we built it around a former. That was like flexi ply around the outside. Then we used that nice hardwood stuff again to build the window, and then we got the glass cut especially for it.
Brilliant. And the actual flow of the kitchen just looks so nice as well. You've got lots of prep space, lots of storage, and I especially like the way that you've done this table. Can you talk to me about how all this works?
Yeah, so the table works on a pivot system, and you take the chairs off of the back and you can open them up, and then you flip the table up and there's a bolt that goes through, and then you have a solid table to work on. So you can use that to do your work, or you can do prep or eating. So yeah, it's great.
It's such an efficient use of the space. And beyond that, I love the way that it also creates a kind of visual barrier of separation between the living space and the kitchen.
Yeah, totally. That was an added perk of doing it, was that separation. Because I think it's important in a tiny space to still get that definition between the spaces. Otherwise it all feels like one big unit and it doesn't feel so homey, I would say.
I completely agree. And of course that's further accentuated by stepping up into the kitchen as well.
Yes, yeah. So again, the height of the house was important because as you're stepping up, you don't want to feel oppressed in the space. So that high ceiling was important, especially when you're cooking and things like that. You don't want to be crouching down.
Absolutely. And have you been able to build additional storage into the stairs here as well?
Yeah, so the steps open up and you have storage in there, and they pull out as well, and there's storage all the way to the back. Same under the bed. So the bed has got all our clothes underneath, and so they pull out as well.
And of course in the kitchen as well, you're not wanting for any appliances, are you?
No, absolutely, yeah. I do love my appliance. So I've got an air fryer, toaster, kettle, stove, and fridge as well.
Fantastic, absolutely everything you need then. And I love the way that you've got the pull-out rack for the dish towels too. That's really clever.
Yeah, really, really handy. And it also creates a space for me to put like trays and things like that for cooking and for eating as well. And I've also used the deep cupboard there in the corner to have some shelving for things I'm not going to be using as much. And I also keep my laundry basket and a little storage unit there as well.
Perfect, nicely done. And I'm guessing through here we must have your bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take a look.
Let's do it.
Again, this is really nicely done. The tile work in here just works so well with the pallets.
Thank you, yeah. So tiles were in a clearance sale. I got those for very cheap as well. Same with the floor in here as well.
And I like what you've done with the composting toilet here too.
Thank you, yeah. So I wanted to keep it quite sleek, but I also didn't want to have to bring the waste through the house. So I put a hatch on the outside so that you can take it all out from the outside and, you know, service it from outside.
Very clever. And a bit of storage up there as well too?
That's right, yeah. So we had this mirror lying around that I wanted to use, so I built the unit around the mirror. And so yeah, we've got lots of storage in there, his and hers.
And then you've got the shower over here as well?
Yeah, so the shower, we have a reclaimed tray we brought off of Gumtree for like 15 quid.
Nice.
And then all the shower panels and things were quite cheap as well. So yeah, it was good.
Great, nice compact base in there too?
Yeah, I need to keep that small so that the space feels bigger.
Definitely. And you've got the access hatch up here as well. What is that?
Yeah, that's right. So the access hatch is for if the water heater ever fails or anything like that, we can get to it easier rather than having to go up into the loft and do it from there. So we can take it out if we needed to.
Such a good idea. And now you've only just finished and moved into this house, haven't you?
Yes, I literally finished it yesterday and yeah, moved in and slept in it. I've been sleeping in it for a while, but it's good to have it finished.
And now that the space is finished, you just must have such a tremendous amount of pride encapsulated in this home.
100%, yeah. I think being able to do this with my dad has just been an amazing project, and having my family help out as well. So my granddad and things, he's helped me do the reed beds and things like that, and like doing any digging. He loves being on an excavator, so he's right in whenever there's some digger work to do. So yeah, it's just been great family project and having everybody involved and doing things. So yeah, it's fantastic. I'm very proud.
As you should be. And how long did it take you to build this?
So the home with the trailer, it took about 3 years. So yeah, throughout university, I've been doing it. So yeah, not too bad, considering I've done it all myself, but yeah.
And you're still only 21 years old and you own your own home now. That is remarkable.
It's amazing. I mean, when some of my friends are like still renting and things like that, or like not being even able to afford it with the property market at the moment.
Of course.
It's sort of come at quite a good time actually to have built it myself, given that the situation is kind of very expensive and you know, really hard to get onto. This house has taught me that I'm stronger than I think, and that like I can do anything I put my mind to. Like I didn't know I'd be able to do this to this quality. Like I was saying to my dad, that I'm amazed at how good it actually looks compared to like how we thought it was going to look, which wasn't great in our heads. But now that we've built it, we're really proud of it. So I think it's taught me to be like proud of myself as well, and you know, really show it off to people and like, you know, be proud of it.
Can we talk about the cost that was involved in building this?
Yeah, of course. So throughout the project, I've kept like a spreadsheet of all my costs and the breakdowns and everything like that. So it's cost me about 5.6k. So yeah.
5.6 thousand pounds?
Yes, yeah.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is very good.
Like, that is actually a mind-blowing sum to have built your own home for, isn't it?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And it's gonna save me so much money in the long run as well.
What's the trick to doing it? Because I think a lot of people would hear that and just be like, that's not even possible.
Yeah, so, I mean, it has taken me a long time, and using salvage materials and things like that, I think you have to be patient and look for these things. Sometimes, like, the material wouldn't be there for me, but I could find it online, like, in a week or two. So you just have to be patient and find the right thing, and then when you see it online or you see it, like, someone tells you about it or something, you just know, oh, I need that, or this is good, I can use that here. I think you just need to be clever with where you use it. But I have also been very lucky in the fact that I have been given some of the material. Yeah,
absolutely. And you're so right about that, because building it over the course of 3 years, it has given you a lot of time to source and carefully select all of those materials.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so now the home is finished, what does the future hold for you now?
Well, I hope to work in film and TV. I've just come off of a feature film as a second AC.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, yeah. So we'll see. I want to work in post-production, but I'm unsure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see where I end up.
You've got your whole life and a very exciting future ahead of you, and I love that you have got this very beautiful home as a springboard to make all of that happen from. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you, Bryce.
Jack has built himself an incredible home here. For the size of this home, there is so much functionality that's been built into the space and so many clever ideas poured into the design. I love the fact that he built this home together with his father as well, and that within the walls of this tiny house, so many memories are now encapsulated. And the best thing of all is that he is still so young with so much to look forward to, and this house in the future can be whatever he needs it to be.